currently have $47 million sitting in a blind trust that no one knows about. But right now, I'm sitting in my car crying, begging my own mother for rent money. Why? Because before I hand out a single dime of my fortune, I need to know the truth. Does my family love me? Or do they just love what I can do for them? This is the story of how a lottery ticket destroyed my family and saved my life. 020 story begins. My name is Cassie Wilson. I'm 34, living in Portland, Oregon, and until last Tuesday, I was invisible. I worked a soul-crushing job as an accountant, drowning in student loans and driving a Corolla that sounded like a lawnmower. My life was a cycle of work, sleep, panic about bills, repeat. But the real stress wasn't the money, it was my family. To call them toxic is an insult to nuclear waste. My parents divorced when I was 14. Gregory is a physics teacher who married Stephanie, a woman who thinks budget is a dirty word. My mom Diane married Warren, a businessman who hoards cash like a dragon. Then there's my sister, Lisa the golden child, Ivy League grad, married to a surgeon, living the suburban dream. And my brother, Jason, he's 36, charming and allergic to employment. He treats my bank account like his personal ATM. For years, I was the doormat. When Jason needed rehab money, which he spent on a Vegas trip, I drained my savings. When Lisa's wedding went over budget, I charged $2,000 on my credit card that she never paid back. When Dad needed roof repairs, I wired the cash, only to see him on a beach in Cancun 2 weeks later. I was the reliable one, the sucker. The only person who didn't use me was Aunt Martha. She's a school teacher driving a rusted Honda, barely scraping by. Yet she always remembered my birthday when my own parents forgot. I felt trapped. I was the family bank, despite being the poorest one. But the universe has a twisted sense of humor. On my 34th birthday, feeling low, I bought a lottery ticket at Gus's Market. I played numbers based on family birthdays of N, the ones who treated me like dirt. I didn't watch the drawing. I woke up the next morning, checked my phone, and froze. The numbers matched. All of them, $60 million. In a split second, I went from broke accountant to richer than my entire family combined. But as I stared at that ticket, a terrifying thought hit me. If they used me when I had nothing, what would they do if they knew I had everything? I knew I had to test them. I sat on my floor, hyperventilating. After taxes, a cool $28 million lump sum. I could buy an island. I could disappear, but I couldn't move. My phone buzzed a text from Jason asking for $50. The irony made me sick. I realized that if I told them now, I wouldn't be Cassie anymore. I'd be a walking checkbook. I hired Philip, a high-powered estate attorney downtown. I walked into his office in my thrift store coat, clutching the ticket like a grenade. We set up a blind trust to claim the money anonymously. My name wouldn't appear in the papers. To the world, I was still broke. Cassie. To the bank, I was a whale. Philip warned me, money changers people? Cassie. Usually for the worse. He was right. I needed to know who deserved a seat at my table before I served the feast. So, I devised the trap. I would tell my family I lost my job. I'd tell them my company, the marketing firm, collapsed due to an embezzlement scandal, a believable lie. I'd say I was broke, desperate, and facing eviction. I would ask each of them for $5,000. Not a gift alone. Now keep in mind, Mom and Warren just bought a lake house. Dad and Stephanie drive luxury SUVs. Lisa's husband is a surgeon. $5,000 to them is pocket change. To me, in my fake scenario, it was survival. I spent a week setting the stage. I transferred my millions into diversified investments and kept a small, decoy checking account that showed a balance of $12.43. Even practiced my panic voice with my best friend Charlotte, the only person who knew the truth. "Are you sure you want to do this?" Charlotte asked, swirling her wine. "It's going to hurt." "I've been hurt for years," I said, staring at the city skyline from my balcony. A balcony I could now afford to replace with a penthouse. I need to know. If they turn their backs on me now, they lose the right to celebrate with me later. Tuesday morning arrived. I took a deep breath, put on my most worn-out sweater, and dialed the first number. "My mother," she answered on the second ring, sounding annoyed. "Make it quick, Cassie. I'm at the spa." "Mom," I choked out, forcing tears. "I'm in trouble." The company folded. I lost my job. I have zero savings left, and rent is due. I need help. The silence on the other end wasn't shock. It was calculation. And then she spoke the words that sealed her fate. Mom, I need $5,000 just to survive the next 2 months, I pleaded. Diane let out a long, heavy sigh. Oh, Cassandra. You know Warren and I are liquid poor, right? Now, with the renovations on the lake house, the contractors are bleeding us dry. Mom, I'm talking about being homeless, not a renovation. Have you asked your father? Honestly, Cassie, at 34, you should have an emergency fund. It's not fair to put this on us. She hung up, strike one. My own mother chose new hardwood floors over her daughter's safety. Next, I called Dad. I gave him the same story. Dad, please, I'll pay you back with interest once I find a new job. Cassie, he started, using his teacher voice. If I bail you out, you'll never learn. Stephanie and I have a strict budget for the quarter. We're planning that trip to Italy, remember? Maybe this is a wake-up call for you to get serious about your career. He hung up, strike two. He was literally booking a European vacation while his daughter claimed to be starving. Then Lisa, my wealthy sister, Lisa Paul, makes 7 figures. I just need a loan. Cassie, we're house poor. She laughed nervously. Do you know how much private school costs? Plus, Paul hates lending money to family. It gets so messy. Maybe try DoorDash. Strike 3. Finally, Jason. I knew he didn't have the money, but I wanted to hear his reaction. Jay, I'm drowning. Damn, sis. That sucks. Hey, since you aren't working, can you drive me to the airport on Thursday? I'd save on Uber. I stared at the phone. He didn't even offer a fake apology. He just saw my tragedy as a way to save himself $40. My heart was pounding, but not from sadness anymore. It was cold rage. I had $47 million. I could buy their houses and evict them for sport. But I had one call left. Aunt Martha. She answered on the first ring. Cassie, you sound terrible, honey. What is it? I told her the lie. I'm broke, Aunt Martha. I don't know what to do. She didn't ask why I didn't have savings. She didn't lecture me. I have $800 in my savings account, she said instantly, and I get paid on Friday. You can have all of it. And Cassie, you can move into my spare room. It's small, but we'll make it work. I'll come get you right now. Don't worry, baby girl. We're family. I broke down, real, sobbing tears. She was willing to give me her last dollar. She was the only one. Aunt Martha, I said, my voice shaking, don't come get me. I'm coming to you. And I have something to tell you. I drove to Aunt Martha's apartment, not in my Corolla, but in the rental car I'd been using to meet with lawyers. When I walked into her tiny plant-filled living room, she hugged me so hard I couldn't breathe. She had already started making a bed on her couch for me. Put that away, I said, gently taking the worn-out blanket from her hands. Sit down, Martha. I pulled out my phone and opened my banking app. I handed it to her. She squinted at the screen. Cassie, is this a glitch? That says 28 million. It's not a glitch, I smiled, feeling the weight lift off my chest. I won the lottery. I have $47 million. I didn't lose my job. I lost my patience with everyone else. I explained everything. The test, the calls, the rejections. Martha sat there, stunned. Why tell me? She whispered. Because you were the only one willing to save me when you thought I had nothing. I said, so now you get everything. The next day, I paid off Aunt Martha's mortgage. Then, I bought her a new house, not a mansion, but the beautiful cottage with the garden she'd always dreamed of. I set up a trust fund for her that generates more interest monthly than her teaching salary paid in a year. She retired 2 weeks later. As for the rest of them, Mom called me a week later. Did you figure out your rent situation? I did, I said calmly. I bought a place. You bought a place? With what money? My money. Oh, and Mom, I won the lottery. The scream on the other end was deafening. What, Cassie? Oh my God, we have to celebrate. We don't need to do anything. I cut her off. I asked for help, and you chose your lake house. Dad chose Italy. Lisa chose her lifestyle. You showed me exactly what I'm worth to you. 0. I blocked her number. Then Dad's, then Lisa's. Jason showed up at my old apartment, but I was already gone. I live in a quiet, gated community now, just a few miles from Aunt Martha. We travel, we donate to charities, and we live in peace. My family tells everyone I'm a greedy monster who abandoned them. But I know the truth. Loyalty isn't about being there when the sun is shining. It's about holding the umbrella when it rains. They left me in the storm, so they don't get to enjoy the rainbow. If you enjoyed this story of justice, hit that like button and let me know in the comments. Would you have tested your family? Or just disappeared? Don't forget to subscribe for more crazy true stories. See you in the next one.